Today's oil painting will be about atmosphere. In this video, I'll be using Daler-Rowney Georgian Oil paints. To get started here, let's cover all of our materials first. We are using the Georgian oil paints, and these are just so nice for their buttery consistency. They meet you right in the middle. You're not too oily, you're not too dry. It's perfectly right in the middle. And now let's talk about what we're going to paint. And right here, I have this sketch I did up on top of a mesa in southern Utah, and it's like this 1,000-foot drop. And it's these red rocks, so I want to show today the blue atmosphere, and then when the blue atmosphere meets the edge of this cliff, it's still slightly blue, and then it gets warmer and warmer and warmer as it gets closer to us. So to do that, I'm going to grab a little bit of medium, and I'm going to put in, right off the bat, this is cerulean mixed with, I believe this is titanium white. Yeah, titanium white. And so I mixed these pre-established colors. And the way I did that is by using a variation of grays or titanium white. And that's going to help me get all this in as fast as possible. So now that I've put, right now everything's thin and they're just identifying masses of different layers of this painting. And so what I'm going to do is just put them in flat. I'm not worrying about looking pretty and perfect. I am just going quick and just putting in with these such fun colors to use right out of the tube, ready to go. As much as I want to do a flat shape, I still want to leave the feeling of form of these clouds. And so where there's this distant warmth of the sun, thin is important in this section of the painting. So I want to put in thin layers with medium. Down here at the bottom, just a couple warm notes. This is a kind of a red rock mesa. So I want to make sure that we start to see as this atmosphere, as the distance gets closer to me, I want to feel that it's getting warmer. So I love this Indian red. And there's also this rose madder. Can just really, even though the cliffs, you know, are this orange red, and you tend to jump in and say, oh, that's just going to be high chroma, powerful colors. That's not what we want in nature. The way visually we work is as objects recede in the distance, they get cooler. But what is cooler? Well, we tend to think cooler is gray. I grade this Indian red down with this neutral, mid-tone neutral, and similarly with this madder rose. And then right here, as I'm getting warmer, I'm going to grab this cad red, neutralized with mid-tone gray. See the difference? It already feels like, oh, you belong there because you got this cooler quality, but it's a red cool. And then you are warming up, coming towards me. And then last but not least is this cad red or cad orange. And I can even add warm notes into it. All right, so we have worked on that first layer covering the whole painting, and we worked up to this point right here. So let's get started. All right. I'm going to make some quick, just cool colors that aren't thick. And because this is dry, I can start to detail. I want a little more dry brush, but I'm looking for just putting in structural, gnarly, edgy, craggedy cliffs. And I'm going to now start to put in subtle blues on this cliff, warm up the blues, opaque blues on this cliff, and then similar fashion, we're moving towards something that's closer to me, more of these purples here. And that way we get each layer that demonstrates atmosphere to us. And let's start with, let's go ultramarine, and let's grab, I want to be careful, but right through here, let's see, yeah, that's pretty close. So that was just the mid neutral, and this is when the painting is going to sing. And I went a little bit higher than I mentioned earlier, but that's because this is where the light, the blue light, will fall on those rocks. So up to this point, basically, I just wanted the feel for the cliff and get this atmospheric feel. And sure, there's more details, there's more edge quality, there's more brush strokes to be placed here. But as far as the turning of form and this feeling of atmosphere, I think we've accomplished that. So let's go ahead and progress from here. This for me is the finishing stage, the thick opaques, the chunky quality that makes an object feel closer to you. And so the nice thing is we have these colors that are not, they have body to them. They have thickness. We can manipulate and put in, you know, for example, let's just do some palette knife work. We can just come in here and I love palette knife work because it gives this spontaneity and it gives this broken color and it just feels like rocks in the desert. So there's a real fun quality to that. This rock face just needs to feel like it's on the tip top of the light side, and then as it turns, I can change what it's doing on the way down. So I feel like this top edge is in the light and then have it diminish on the way down. So if I change the chroma and make it more gray, and that's another way to help us as a viewer say, oh, I understand that. And we just continue down. And I can leave these big strokes and it's not a big deal, as long as I think about the layer, the form beneath it. So this can be chunky, but then if I have something to say that is turning, then that is what we want. And I think we're really close to being done. So I just wanted to say, utilizing these colors, I was able to really make an atmospheric painting with the consistency of the colors, mixing them, getting some idea of where to go with your different grays, and then just feeling your way through the painting, getting this atmosphere, strategizing on distant cliff versus closer cliff, putting warm spots to speak through you, and organizing your colors as you place them so that you can focus on texture. And this is the fun stuff, the textures, and that's where it doesn't matter because everything else is going to help us arrive at this moment. And that's the beauty of using the right colors, understanding them, breaking them down, graying them down, putting them in, organizing them, and then wrap up your painting, have fun, and come out of it with something that's beautiful. Thanks for following along.